What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTL podcast. This is episode 53, and it is August 10th, 2023. And you know that we are back here for another riveting show, another Timepiece Gentleman update. Just want to get a few things out before we get into the live stream, just so my audience is clear and the new audience that is coming in. Okay, so LTL podcasts, we cover mostly true crime here on this podcast. And I've been kind of branching out and experimenting a little bit with my audience and bringing some new elements into it. The Anthony Farah Timepiece Gentleman story could possibly be a true crime story. So that's why I've been covering this. And my roots with this particular connection goes back, oh gosh, almost 2 years ago. Or when was Anthony started on YouTube? About 2 years ago. So I used to be a watch YouTube channel. I used to be one, and the channel here has gone through quite a few changes, but I feel like I've really found my niche, and I really love being here with this audience. They're very, very supportive of this channel, but hopefully you will ride along with this kind of these updates and along with some of my other content if you're not just solely here for true crime. Just want to make it very clear to my audience as well too. I am not going to be changing the format on this channel. I'm not going to be going back to being a watch YouTuber. There's no worries about that. I love watches. I've always loved watches. But it's just something that I don't want to base my channel around. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there are some great channels out there that do amazing watch content. I am just not immersed in that world like I used to be. I was in the business for about 16 years and I left it. And it's just something that I don't want to continue. It is a hobby of mine, but after 16 years of being in the business and the way that I left that company and the kind of the stain that it left, I was in the retail end of it, and it was tough. And it was a brutal ride. And the way that I was the way that I was treated by upper management was not cool. And I got really sour about the industry when I left it, but I had to capitalize on this. And I'm glad that my audience has been very captivated by it as well. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming and hanging out on these streams. But for my watch buddies, over the last couple of days, obviously, I've reconnected with some of them as well. And it's just so great to see all of them, because I used to do very long live streams with them. I've gotten to know them personally, kind of dipped out of the scene for about a year. And, I always knew through the power of like Timepiece Gentlemen, we would all come back around again. And I've been hanging out a lot on my buddy JJ's channel, JJ's Watch Hangout. If you are a subscriber and you like watch content, I would suggest going over and checking out his channel, and I'll drop his link in the chat before we end up this stream. But again, this potentially is going to turn into, I believe, a true crime story. There's a lot of new information that has come out, and some things that I want to get into and show my audience as to what has been really going on over the last couple of days. And I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not going to continue to do a lot of this type of content until something else comes up. But I'm just trying to expand a little bit and bring my audience into this, and they found this to be really captivating. So excuse me. So have you guys seen my recent Brian Koberger videos? If you have, type number 1 in the chat. I hope that you're liking my short form content right now. I'm going to let you know right now, I am working on a Long Island serial killer video that should be out in the next couple of days. I'm going to work hard on that. I've seen some things that I'd like to improve in my short form content, but I hope that you're all enjoying that because it's been exciting making it, and it's been really fun for me and to get that creative outlet out there. So, all right, let's get into Timepiece Gentlemen. Let me look at my notes over here. Oh, by the way, to my audience, not the Timepiece audience that's probably watching today, I want to let you know this. I have a JLR update, and I'm going to play this really quick. And I said that I was going to reach out to him and try to get him on the podcast. It was funny. He was live streaming today. I went over to his channel and dipped in on his live stream. I dropped him a super chat, and this is how he actually responded.
Her family, I believe,
Always in the field.
or people affiliated with her were at the DMV just the other night. Cagney, thank you.
It's after this.
JLR, can you cover the Casey Young missing Spartanburg case when you get the time? I will look into that. Thank you. Or what does that say?
Oh no, I lost the point here. Shit. Anyway, I screwed that video up. But anyway, he did respond to me. He said that I said, hey, congratulations on the 70,000 subs. And I said, hey, great boots on the ground coverage. He actually responded to me and said, hey, I got your email. I'm going to respond to you soon. So hopefully I can get him over here on the podcast and do an interview with him, because as you guys know, my true crime audience knows that he's been basically boots on the ground out in Idaho. And I really want to get his take for the feeling in the community right now in and around that area. I think it would be really great to have him on the podcast and do an interview with him. So anyway, we'll get back to TPG. Thanks for letting me get through that. So let's see. Let me get a little bit of a recap here. 7 days ago, Anthony Farah, he admitted to owing people a lot of money, said that basically he is about $5 million in debt of consignment pieces, customer money, investor money, said essentially that he has admitted to drinking, partying with women. We know what he means there. And is on drugs, and essentially all the excesses of that lifestyle got to his head. So says basically, he's going to try to find his way out of this. As you guys know, I kept you up to date with that. Going to find his way out of this, kind of those road to redemption videos. But something that I found that has been kind of circulating the internet, and I know my true crime audience that's just coming into the subject won't know too much about it, but there was a phone call out there of him basically admitting that he was in this type of debt. And I'm going to play about 2 minutes of that. And as I play it, I'm going to look up and acknowledge the chat. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get going on a good poll here and I don't look up, but let's play the 2 minute that I have that I could find right now. A lot of the other pieces of the video are gone, but this is Anthony on the phone, essentially saying that he is in a lot of trouble.
No, dude, you gotta have to try and dig out of the shit, man. That's the only. I mean, that's a big fucking hole, and it's probably. I
think the only. I don't have another option. Like, I don't have an option of someone coming in to relieve my debt. I don't have an option. I don't have an option. You know what? Not that I don't have. I don't want someone to come in and relieve all my debt. I don't want someone to just wipe it away. I want to dig myself out of this the hard fucking way, like the most embarrassing way possible. That's what I need. I need it to blow up. I need it to hurt. I need it to sting. And like, I need to feel that shame to put in perspective, like the good, like, what I've done. Because what got me here is not what's going to get me out of here. Like,
yeah, I think you're right.
No, you gotta get humble.
Making money, getting famous, all that shit. That's not going to get me out of what I did. Like, I'm not going to be able to talk my way out of it. I'm not going to be able to convince my way out of the fact I owe people money. But that's what got me in this position, was fame and a little bit of success. So I need to go through it the hard way, but like, you know what I'm going to commit to right now is I'm just going to fucking tell everybody straight up. Like, I'm $5 million in debt. I've been a complete fucking degenerate, and I was like focused. I got a little bit of taste of success in the stars, and I thought that would never end. And for the last 2 years, that's how I've lived my life, is that it would never end. I was way too good at what I did. I was way too famous, way too popular. I was the leader of all of this in the industry, and I let that kind of tank me. So,
I mean, dude, I think you getting honest and getting humble is probably the best thing you could do on a.
Now, there's many other pieces of the video out there, but admittedly, that's the part that he says that he's about $5 million in debt. It's the only piece that I could find of the phone call when I was searching around today. A lot of it's been deleted. But you know, that gives you a little bit of background. That's when he actually came out, and then he knew that he had to come out and fully admit everything, and then started that kind of road to redemption series on his channel. So if we look here, you know, look, we go back in the past. Anthony, as we know, has pulled multiple scams and scandals throughout his watch career, YouTube career. He started a private Facebook group where you could get in. I think it was $2,000 to get in. He would give this exclusive access to inventory. Essentially, a lot of people paid up. There were people that were coming out and saying that he took them for the money, never added them to the group. I mean, it was just tons of scamming and just stories going around that this guy was not keeping his commitments. And then they had the blackout stunt where he basically essentially blacked out all of his social media, made it look like he took off with millions of dollars of consigned inventory from investors or customers, and went on this kind of social media blackout. It was so big that the national news actually picked it up. So as far as the stunt, what was in his head, thinking that this would give, it obviously brought in a lot of attention, but it brought in a lot of negative attention. And the thing that I said is this group, and I'm explaining this for my audience, this group of individuals or individuals that are in this business, this gray market dealing, secondhand dealing, it's a very tight-knit group of people. And when you piss on the industry, it fucks over a lot of these businesses. And, they have to do a lot of cover up because they don't want, the negative attention on themselves. And believe me, there are a lot of great, respectable people in this business, but people like this, like Anthony Farah, need to go away, because he cast a negative stain on the people that are trying it to do it the right way in this hobby, in this business. And it's sickening what he's done. And and this can hurt. Like I said, this can hurt a lot of businesses. When you see shit like this out there, it blows back on those businesses as well. And we're going to get into blowback a little later. I know Anthony knows a little bit about blowing back, but so we know about fake robberies. And then I found this was interesting. I found his Watch Dealer University page today, his Watch Dealer University page. And this was another scam that he pulled up here. And again, very slick website. And wait till I play the video. You're going to be amazed. How to wear a $50,000 timepiece for free while also building a profitable watch trading business. Again, I always remind this. It always reminds me of Tai Lopez. Knowledge. You know what I mean? But again, very slick little website. Very nice laid out. Looks legitimate if you went to it. Tells you here's what's exactly inside in the course. But he always pops up with these things, these great ideas, maybe something that might turn into a potential great idea and never comes through. And that's his problem. He look at, you want to be able to wear a luxury watch for free and flip it in a month and a half for extra source of income. I mean, if I saw that and I was a budding, what we call backpack dealer with, you essentially you're secondhand trading or secondhand selling from your backpack. If I saw this and I didn't know who Anthony Farah was and I watched his introductory video, I'd be like, holy shit, like this seems pretty good. Again, very nice laid out, instant access, nice photos, frequently asked questions, a really nice, slick layout website, all to scam you of your money. All right, let's play this video here. It's about 3 minutes, but you're going to get watch how nicely produced this video is. It's great.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to not only wear a $60,000 watch for free, but to make some side cash doing so? I have some information that's potentially going to change your career path forever. Back during the pandemic, we saw the watch industry take off, and now's a better time than ever for new dealers like yourself to get started. If you've ever been intrigued about the thought of becoming a full-time watch dealer and wasn't really sure where to start, or maybe you just want to flip a watch or two here and there so that you can ultimately wear watches for free. I mean, hey, that is how I started. Or maybe you don't want to be a dealer. Maybe your idea is to become a better collector and understand the watch market from a dealer's point of view. Well, stick around because I've got some valuable information for you. Let's put it like this. If I had a time machine and I could go back to the day I started with all the information I can share with you today, I could have saved myself millions of dollars, countless sleepless nights, and a lot of mistakes that I made. To be honest, I'd probably be in the exact same position I am today, just 3 years sooner. For those of you that haven't been following my content, my name is Anthony Fair, and I'm the owner and founder of the Timepiece Gentleman brand. I sold some of the most exquisite timepieces to some of the biggest names that you guys know. I'm going on my 6th year in this business, and we're on pace to do about 40 million in sales this year. And I can tell you this, we're just getting started. Now, I'll be the first to admit, in my 6 years in this business, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot of lessons. I've seen dealers come and go, pulling stuff like cash grabs, shady moves, to just downright scams. But you want to know the biggest scam I see in this industry that literally no one is talking about? It's the education in this space. The education here is a joke. And trust me, I've been a part of these programs and seen them firsthand. All they do is string you along, feeding you upsells and new phases to their course and asking you to join their mastermind while never really telling you how real dealers make money. They're feeding you a bunch of lies and they're charging you an arm and a leg to do so. Remember how I told you I had something that was potentially going to change your career path forever? The past 6 years of my mistakes, my wins, my setbacks, the lessons I've learned, everything I know about the watch industry is going to be packaged into one course.
This video is so ironic.
See, in this course, you're going to get everything you need to know to go from a beginning dealer to an expert like myself. Whether you're a seasoned collector wanting to become a better collector, whether you've already started in the business and are flipping a watch here and there, or you have zero knowledge at all, this is the place to start. And I can personally guarantee there's nothing like this out on the market.
Ty Lopez.
You want to know how I can guarantee that? Because I've been a part of these other programs. I know the dealers involved with them, and I can promise you that isn't even close. And the proof is in the pudding. With this program, you're basically purchasing the last 6 years of my brain. Every lesson I've learned, both the easy and the hard way. There is no second or third phase, no monthly mastermind, no continued education with this course.
Ollie, JJ's got to play this video on his next live. This is hilarious. I only sat through about 30 seconds of it today, and this is the lessons that I learned. If I only had a time machine, holy shit.
Of course, it's all bundled into one package. My Watch Dealer University course is the course that's going to give regular guys like you a real shot at becoming a dealer and teach you the rights and wrongs in this industry that people don't talk about. And as a dealer who's on track to do 40 million in sales this year, I'm promising you an unfiltered, no BS masterclass on everything you need to know to get started. Everything from how to build a retail connection, how to build a wholesale
5 or 10
connection.
grand.
Where do dealers really source inventory? How to spot fakes, how to avoid scams, how to set up your business, and so much more, all in one product.
Dude,
if you've ever had any interest in the watch
JJ's got to play
this is your unfair advantage. If you want to skip the expensive mistakes and painful lessons that every dealer before has had to go through, I want you to click the link and let's get started. Whether you want to be a full-time dealer, maybe you want to flip 1 or 2 watches a month, or just become a better collector. Maybe you're starting with limited funds, say a few $1,000s, like I did. This program was built for you. I can promise you that someday in the very near future, just by saying you went through this training, it's going to give you an immense trust and access to an amazing network of dealers. I have a long-term vision for this program becoming the gold standard of education.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have the guess.
And I want to see you guys inside. So click the link below and let's get started.
All right. Slick Little Production. Slick Little Production. How much was this? Let's look. How much was it? Just today, $24.97 today. You get instant access. $3,000. $3,000 will get you in. $3,000 will get you into the Watch University. That is one of the fucking greatest things I've seen. That's so great. All right. So let's see. Do I have everybody captivated so far? Is everybody into this? This is great. So again, he came back, self-admitted the $5 million in debt, started posting his Road to Redemption series. We got day 1 through 4. We've played that. We've played those already. So you guys are all, and ladies are all caught up there. And then he talks about how he's going to pay all the money back. Through his first couple of days, he jumps on another live stream from Tim Wright and has an interview with him, and essentially comes out on this live, starts telling his whole situation, and gets into kind of a question and answer session. Well, later on in the podcast, there was another gentleman that joined the panel. His name is Ushin. He's a watch YouTuber as well. And essentially there was a little back and forth between Anthony and Ushin. And Ushin's basically like, dude, you're a piece of shit. You scammed all these people. You don't live up to what you say. It was really good stuff. And we saw some of that on the last live. I played some of that. So again, essentially in that conversation, Anthony was going through and saying, hey, have me on your live in 30 days and I'm going to show you, what I can do. And that's where I kind of got the idea. I'm like, this prick's going to try to pull this off in 30 days. And that's essentially why I was putting day 1, day 2, day 3 in his title. He thought he was going to make this some riveting YouTube series. And then in 30 days, when he pops up and his balance is plus $1 or whatever, that he was going to show everybody in the YouTube and the watch community world that he was going to pull through and he was going to do this. And then probably would go on to some other fucking scam of how I'm going to show you how to erase $5 million in debt in 30 days. I knew that probably would be the next thing coming up. So again, now we get day 1 through 4. We get day 1 through 4. And the day 5 video drops. And this is where it gets really juicy. And I'll tell you, I was reading some of the Reddit streams today, posts today. Holy shit on this stuff. So day 5 video drops. It drops a couple days ago, about 48 hours ago at about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I see the video drop and I click on it and watch about 2 minutes of it. And I stopped because I was working on one of my Brian Koberger videos, the second one that I released, because I wanted to finish that up. So I finish up my Koberger video and go back to the TPG video because I wanted to watch it. And I start playing it. I get about a minute or 2 into it. And at midnight, the video gets pulled. It's gone. Well, come to find out, the reason it was pulled was in this twist of his said debt, there was a watch store, a jewelry store, watch store. And I don't know if the story is straight. Either they reached out to him or he reached out to them. And essentially, I think they reached out to him and offered their store for inventory. And essentially what some of these guys will do in their businesses to get started and is they'll use a jewelry store as their inventory. And Anthony was very well known to do that. He'll go in, take pictures of their particular pieces and try to promote them and sell them through his social media platforms. And when he does that, he essentially becomes the middleman to that business. So he takes, like, say, these sunglasses, right? He'll take a photo of them, say at the business, I don't know, they're $100. He'll put it on his social media platform for 120. When he sells it, the store gets $100 and he takes his $20 profit because he becomes essentially a middleman for that business. So I think essentially what happened was they reached out to him. They thought it'd probably be a great idea that he could work with them and promote their business, sell, some watches out of their business, bring in revenue for them. Well, Nitwit gets on a plane, flies from Dallas to Florida. I think it was in Miami. And he's filming his day 5 video, the second half of it, outside this business. And he says, I'm getting ready to go in, and you're going to see it. We're going to play the video. I'm getting ready to go into this business. They're willing, they're willing to work with me. They reached out to me. And as he pans by their blade sign. I'm not going to name the business, but you're going to see it in the video. He pans past their blade sign and everybody goes, holy shit, we know the business that he's working with. So they start reaching out and slamming them. Like, you cannot work with this guy. He's a piece of shit. He's taking all this money. And they start getting tons of blowback at that business. Also in the video, and you'll see it at the very end of the video, he starts calling out some of his said investors. And essentially, that's why I think the video got pulled, because 1, that business was getting trashed. And 2, speaking out against the investor and just basically saying, fuck you, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. You're going to see it. It's great. So let's play that day 5 video. I actually got it. I have the video. We'll play through it. The first 5 minutes is not so interesting, but that last back end is, it's great. But let me pull that up here. And I'll give you, all right, day 5. Let's hear all about it. The missing video. I got it.
What's up, everyone? All right. So yesterday at the end of my video, I talked about this, another watch dealer and jeweler that reached out, saw everything that's going on. They've been fans for a while, and they reached out to offer.
And again, we got that running debt total down there in the lower quadrant on the right side. He's $4,977,100 in debt right now.
Their store as a resource, their inventory, their team, everything, as a way to, one, help me continue to fix the situation I'm in, but also simultaneously build their brand. I may be bad at a few things, but I'm very good at a couple things. And I think they recognize the opportunity for that. So they want me to come out, work in their store, work with them, teach them the things that I know that I am good at, help build their brand like I built the TPG brand in the early days. So I talked about doing that here in about a week or so. I was sitting there thinking last night, and I was like, you know what? I kept thinking about it. Why wait? What am I waiting for? What am I going to do in Dallas? What can I do in LA that's, that I can't, that's more important than going ahead and getting out there? I love watches. I love the watch industry. I have somebody reaching out, offering their entire store to my disposal. Let's just go do it. So I texted my boy at 2 a.m. and said, hey, if you say the words, I'll book a flight and I'll be out there the next morning. So here I am. I got my workout in this morning because I'm on day 2 of 75 hard.
Oh,
now
75 hard, guys.
To Florida,
75 hard,
and go meet those guys tonight and get to work starting tomorrow. So I'm excited for this. So I just got not kicked out, but told to go to a different lounge. Over the years of all my travel, I've accumulated concierge key status with Americans, so I get access to better lounges, which is the flagship lounge.
Probably had no money.
I'm not saying that to brag or anything. It's actually kind of great in my situation. Somebody pointed out in one of the comments, they're like,
Basil Bezels, $1.99 says, a once in a lifetime lesson of what not to do. That is definitely correct. Thanks for the $2, dude. I appreciate
it. If you're going to say you go make $1,000 a day, are you accounting for the money you're spending traveling, the money you're spending eating, where you're staying, stuff like that? And I was like, that's actually a very good point. So what I decided I wanted to start doing today is I'm going to keep another spreadsheet with how much I actually spend, so I can kind of hone in on where money goes. It's spending $12 to eat breakfast doesn't sound like a lot until you spend $12 for breakfast, and then $4 for coffee, and then $15 for lunch, and then $7 for a snack, and then $25 for dinner. It adds up. So I guess the benefit for me now with this is at the flagship lounge or any of these lounges, it's all free.
Peter says, feel like old times with you doing TPG videos. Where the hell did you go last year? Was I in a coma? Peter, I actually was going to shut the channel down. I was going to shut the channel down essentially. But it got kind of reinvigorated. I started doing a lot of true crime podcasting, and I feel like this is kind of where I found my niche. And I'm very passionate about it. I love doing and reporting these true crime stories, because if I can be an advocate for someone, for a victim, and get their story out there, that's what I want to do. I've been covering a lot of the Idaho 4 murders and doing a lot of research, doing a lot of lives and videos on that. It's a very important case to me. And, we're going to follow that all the way up to completion. But, my real view for this channel is, to essentially have guests on my show that I could advocate for, or just give them a platform to talk about maybe something that went wrong, an investigation in their family that that is still ongoing, maybe a cold case. If you all don't know, and I've shared this many, many times, in 1994, my best friend was murdered, and he got no justice at all. Essentially, the two guys, one took a plea for 6 years, walked after 8 months, and the second individual that killed him ended up walking because the prosecution essentially couldn't get their shit together. I don't shit on the justice system. I think we do need some justice system reform. There are many, many things in the system that can be changed. But I am, an advocate for law enforcement officers, the military. I honor them. I have a huge military presence in my family. I have 8 great uncles that went off to World War II all at the same time, kicked some major Nazi ass, and came back to America and became firefighters. And all of them made it. All of them went over and made it, and made it back home. And I have multitude of cousins that are in the military, so I support that. And I know I'm kind of going off topic here, but I feel like LTL has found its spot. And I'm not totally stuck to true crime. It's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm experimenting with bringing in some other elements to the channel. But essentially one day I would love to have just a Joe Rogan podcast style channel and have people open up to me and tell me their stories. That's really what I wanted to do with this platform. But if I can get in to the true crime genre, the true crime community, and advocate for some people that may have, a brother or sister that went missing, or a family member that was murdered and it wasn't properly investigated, or it's still an ongoing investigation, I can bring that platform out there and get maybe some new information. I would love to do that for people. So thank you for listening to my rant. But we'll get back to Timepiece Gentleman here. I know this is off content from my channel, but I did, I brought it in, and some of my audience is interested in this. And again, we cover murder cases, but we also cover potential white collar crimes as well too. So, but we'll keep moving forward here with day 5. Anthony, Timepiece Gentleman, screwing the industry.
I'm going to take advantage of it.
Lakota with a $5. $5. Those hookers will get you every time. Absolutely. And Ollie, thank you so much for gifting out the 5 memberships. I appreciate you. We go all the way back. We go back a long way. Ollie, maybe I'll pop the link on. Let me know if you want to jump on here in the end and introduce you to my audience. And if you want to talk a little bit about this situation, we'd love to hear your perspective. You're an incredibly intelligent individual, and I know you probably have a little bit to say. I'm going to speed this up, guys. It's a little boring here. We'll get into when he's outside the jewelry store. Essentially going to talk to a guy about a deal. But we'll go to this is the good part here. All right.
All right, bro. Take care.
Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye. Later. All right, so end of day 5. Now I'm actually standing in front of
Ollie. Let me do this. I'm going to get through the end of day 5 here video, and then when I go to the final video, I'll pop you on. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm going to bring my buddy Ollie on. We go back in the watch space. I go over and hang out on a neighboring channel. I've been kind of reconnected with those guys, so I'll pop him on a second. You guys will get to know Ollie a little bit.
the store of the people that reached out to me and offered to open their store up to me, have me come work with them, help with my situation, also simultaneously help build their brand. We're going to sit here and we're going to spend the night coming up with a story. We're going to get them on all the social media platforms. We're going to enhance what they're already doing. And I'm actually I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity to be standing right here. I'm going to reveal it all tomorrow, who it is. But I wanted to take some time to get to know these guys, hear their story, see the story.
It's coming. The sign is coming. Wait for it.
But there's something I wanted to mention is that I've been thinking about it all day because I woke up to several messages this morning from some stuff that was posted online. More people, doing everything they can to try and hurt my name more, make it harder for me to work. So there's something I want to point out.
Again, always playing the victim. Always, people are saying stuff. It's making it harder for me to work. Dude, you're always playing the victim. It's sickening.
Like Wesley, Bob, you guys that I, confided.
So Wesley and Bob are some people that Anthony worked with. And he's going to start calling them out, and just bad game, dude. Because they got the full story out on Reddit about you, bro.
In and was opening up to. I opened up to you guys as a way to
it's always
get some stuff off my chest and take that first step into stopping the lying, stopping what I was doing. It's extremely hard for me to get vulnerable and for me to put emotions on somebody else. It's hard for me to show someone else or share with someone else my problems. And so when I do, I did it with you guys, hoping that it would be my first outlet to get it off my chest.
It's a sign.
Stop lying to myself.
Getting there.
That way I can start the process of fixing everything and rebuilding. And what you guys do, you use it against me. Now, I understand that you guys have
they are posting on Reddit.
Pretty good sized wealth, large enough that the amount of money I owe you may be completely irrelevant, and you may be doing what you're doing simply out of principle to, show everybody how powerful you are. Show me how powerful you are.
Oh, did you see it? Let's back up. Ready? Here it is.
Show everybody how powerful you are. Show.
So when everybody saw that sign in this video, they went fucking bananas and started blasting this company. How dare you work with this guy? And they were getting fucking shit. And that's why essentially, and his little rant here about some possible investors, I don't think that was playing well either. So that's why this video got pulled. But there it is. There's the name of the business, because that can crush your business. I mean, can you imagine the Google reviews? And once, you all know, once a Google review goes up, the only person that can delete it is the person that put it. So that can fuck your business big time.
Show me how powerful you are. But maybe what you don't recognize is the fact that you're not hurting me. Like I've said this before, I've been to prison. Right now, going to prison, going to jail would be a break from what I'm dealing with on a daily basis. You want to file lawsuits, file them. I've literally told you I have no money. So what are you going to do? Sue a broke person and get a judgment against me? Good luck.
This guy's a piece of shit.
You're not hurting me. You're hurting everybody else involved. You guys have so much money that it may be irrelevant, but not everybody's in the same financial position as you. And, I'm not the kind of guy I used to be. I used to be the kind of guy that's going to go tick for tack. And, the stuff that you guys are doing, posting, sharing screenshots of our conversations, making TikTok series to do everything you can to prevent me from being able to make money.
He's the victim.
You guys are doing what you can to try and crush me and make me disappear. I'm here to let you know it ain't going to fucking work. I ain't going anywhere. I don't care how hard you try or how much you push against me. I'm not going to go anywhere. Wesley, this message is for you. I'm not sharing the screenshots for the last 2 months where you've been telling me that you're going to help me get out of this situation and we're going to get something together, both of us, where you're utilizing my skills and my resources and my entire team to your advantage. You conned me, and I know there's irony in everything that's going on.
I'll give you the power.
But I reached out to you for
help,
and
thank you, buddy.
I saw it as an opportunity for me to fix my situation, but also build something for you.
Always everybody else
flew me out to South Carolina to come help you build your store. You've been doing this back and forth. And like I said, I'm not going to share all the screenshots, but I can if I have to, where you've told me repeatedly that you were going to help me do this and you were going to help us create something that would fix my situation. And then I wake up to you sharing conversations and screenshots of people on Reddit, again, trying to crush me and trying to get me out of this industry. And what I think that was all a ploy the whole time. I think you've been using me this entire time, and I was the idiot that put trust in you and helped you build your business and helped you get all the insights you need. And now you're trying to crush me and you think I'm going to disappear.
Does he believe this shit? I mean, does he really get up in the morning and say this shit to himself and he believes it? He's the victim. It's insane.
I'm not going anywhere. So
He's not going anywhere.
You know, I may have done some stuff wrong and I made some mistakes and I owe a lot of people money. But it really shows me your all's character to try to continually tear me down and prevent me from making money when I'm trying to fix what I did. You know, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
Shouldn't say anything.
I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep here. I could give two shits about what all you haters say. Francis,
always
Presley,
the haters.
You and Noel out there making videos, trying to add to the scam and all this shit.
Trying to add, all you guys. Dude. Did he just say trying to add to the scam? He just self-admitted that he scams. He just said it. Let's rewind that and listen again.
I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep here. I could give two shits about what all you haters say. Francis Presley, you and Noel out there making videos, trying to add to the scam and all this shit.
Trying to add to the scam. He literally
Honestly,
just said,
anyone out there, this is my
dude, there's some fucking sound bites in these videos trying to add to the scam. Oh my God.
last message to the haters. Any one of you out there that think you're going to crush me or defeat me, fuck you. You got another thing coming. I'm not going anywhere. I'm out here to this store. A lot of people in this industry are turning their back on me. That's fine. I get it. But these guys opened their store up, and I'm about to spend every ounce of time and effort and skill that I have, and I'm going to help blow these guys' business up. Like I've done.
You did blow it up.
So
negatively.
For all the supporters out there, guys, you guys, I appreciate the supportive messages, the calls, everything that I get on a daily basis, and that's what's going to keep pushing me through this. Now I have a safe haven for those that do reach out to do business and needed what I needed was a more controlled environment. I needed someone to take the reins of stuff that I couldn't control, and I've got that.
Yeah, your money.
These guys, which I'm going to reveal to you guys tomorrow, are going to help me do that. I'm going to help blow their business up. So
you did blow it up.
See you guys tomorrow.
Oh boy, good stuff. Oh, that sign. I love it. I dropped the link for Ollie. See if you can pop on here. We'll get him up before that next. What's going on, man? Dude, he said to add to the scam, bro. He said to add to the scam. You heard him, right?
Yeah. No, he's eloquent. I'll give him that.
By the way, everybody, this is the great and powerful Ollie, the Saswatch in the house. Thanks for joining the show, man. We go back, way back. We hang out on JJ's Hangout. It's a Watch Talk channel, and these are like some of the nicest guys that I've run into across YouTube. And they have some great stuff that they do over in their channel too. So
it's it's been a long time. We go back to before the first vaccines were formally available at this point.
Right.
Like, this has been a long time. Yeah, this is surreal, man. And I keep thinking, like I said it earlier in the chat, he gambled everything with Marco Nicolini, right? His partner in this. He gambled everything on an Audi lease. And I don't even remember what it was. It was like an Audi R8 or something, right?
Yeah.
Before he got into the Lambos and sushi thing. And I don't know, to this day, we don't know if him running into Daniel Mack was a complete coincidence or if he circled those areas that Daniel Mack was known to be in because that's what he wanted.
Can you just explain to everybody who Daniel Mack is? If I know who he is, but maybe you can.
Yeah. So for folks who don't know, there's a guy who will run up to open window of a car. Will get somebody to open the window of a car, and it's generally a very nice car. And I'll go, "Excuse me, will you just tell me what you do for a living?" And this started at this point like 4 years ago. He started doing this.
Got very successful with it.
Very successful, very quick, and people were like astonished. Then it became something where people tried to actually run into him, especially at the beginning of like OnlyFans. OnlyFans girls made like a concerted effort to actually like rent these luxury cars and go run into him because it was a way for them to get subscribers. So then other businesses started doing it. So there's a question in the air when he ran into Daniel Mack, of which later on, like he gave Daniel Mack a Rolex, if that was intentional, like staged, or if he tried to target it, because at that point he had no significant business or YouTube presence.
Right.
So he leases this Audi, I think it was an R8, but it's a high-end Audi, right? It's not,
Yep.
it's not non-trivial. And he hits Daniel Mack, and
He
his
put the
YouTube presence
TVG
blows
logos
up.
on it. He had the
Yeah,
TVG
he had all the
logos on
TVG
it.
logos,
Yep.
exactly.
Timepiece Gentleman logos for everybody who doesn't know what
Timepiece Gentleman logos.
that
And
was
at
his
that
business.
point, he already had the branded hats and stuff.
Yep.
He was doing them. And his channel blows up, right? Significantly. And that's how me and a bunch of other people discover him. And I think people forget that that's actually how it happened, because when Roman Sharf, of which I respect Roman and Nico
Absolutely.
and Watch Eric and everybody, Paul Thorpe a
100%.
lot, when they say that like Anthony created this like day in the life series for watches, they say that as if that's actually what he did, and that's not really what he did, right? He just got bigger than all of them faster because of Daniel Mack.
Yeah.
So it's like they to use since you do true crime and justice reform, it's
Sure.
like they almost did parallel construction of like the positive net effect of like Anthony, right? So it's fascinating like how this all planned out.
So
And I think Marco Nicolini, who's Grand Caliber is his business,
Yep.
and I've got nothing personal against Marco,
no.
but Marco was my introduction to TPG. Marco is how I got involved in like the investor group, which
Mhm.
and I got my money back on that day. I have no complaints about that. But I think like Marco gets away scot-free, and a lot of other people that were like closely involved
in that trail, have not gotten any blowback from it.
Yeah,
Danielle,
and I'm not saying they deserve blowback.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
Right.
But
The
they
level
haven't
that they were
gotten
involved.
blowback.
Right. Danielle's one of my channel members. She's great. She's always here supporting. And she says, Brian, I'm completely invested in the story now. He's up to some other type of scam. Probably most likely. Yeah.
So if you so for the people who don't like, he's a fascinating character because he goes back. There's still a video, I think maybe it's still out there, that kind of gives his life story. Now he tragically lost his twin brother.
Yep.
Either to a drunk driver or as I think either way, he tragically lost his twin brother, right? And that was a major like point in his life. And he went out and became a documented and very successful commercial real estate guy, right? And then he had his first run-in with like addiction issues and the law, alcoholism, and that's been like a thing. So he's been successful in sales, like selling yourself industries more than once, and obviously like you can tell. And when he says like a lot of supporters, he's not lying. Like he does have a lot of supporters that
does,
and I think they change over time. The supporters have now changed into these people who are like, because he gets attention, they just want to be close, right? And I think I just had a power blip. Yeah,
I just saw that.
Anthony's outside. He's waiting.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe someone's trying to tell us something here.
So yeah, it was it's weird, man. It's weird. Like
I remember the Daniel Mack stuff, and then I remember because their channel blew up in October of 2020. That's when I remember. I think it was 2020 or 2021. Probably 2021. 2020. And I remember the first videos that I saw come up in my algorithm with them was they were going out on the street with a watch roll, and they would pull it up to just ordinary people on the street and go, how much do you think this watch is worth? So they did a couple of those, and they didn't do so well. But the minute that first day in the life came out, it was like, what is this? And I could relate to it because I worked in a retail setting. So it captivated me. It pulled me in. And, he had a great little series going on, but then you started seeing things of him like wanting to be bigger, wanting to be more flamboyant, and putting himself out there and showing him working out. And like, I don't give a shit about any of this stuff. I mean, we get it. You're fit, you got a great body, whatever,
But a lot of people did though, Brian, because what happened was this is all happening right when lockdown started. So he did the watch roll thing where he went out and he asked people, and then lockdown started. So then he has a series around lockdowns.
Pulled in.
Right? Like, because everybody's at home now. Everybody's pulled in. And there's this guy who was still going to the gym, and he's wearing
flying all over the place.
5- and 6-figure watches. And he's going and having steak at whatever that place was, that ridiculous steak place.
Bob's Steakhouse. Bob's Steakhouse?
No, it wasn't Bob's. It was...
Bob's. Oh, what the
So
hell is it?
Alex
Maybe
is
someone
there.
in the chat knows. Maybe one of
Yeah.
the watch people.
So he's going in, he's having steak and
Nick and
sushi.
Sam's. Nick and
Nick and
Sam's.
Sam's, Nick
Yeah,
and
Nick and
Sam's, right?
Sam's.
He's going and having sushi and Nick and Sam's every day.
Steaks.
He's going to the
lobster.
gym.
They're showing
And
it.
you know,
Yeah,
and one
yeah.
of the things he's been accused of, I shouldn't say scams. One of the things he's been accused of is he would wear like those consignment watches to the gym, right?
Yeah.
And then he had the Dallas Mavericks like players on on some of the episodes because it was like he had the private
Yep.
training job before that.
He was meeting
So
with NFL players and selling them
so
watches.
it's like this
Yeah.
huge lifestyle thing for people that suddenly like are locked up at home, right?
It's big. Yeah.
It's
Totally
massive, and he's living a lifestyle that at that point people have never lived. One, like most of his viewers had never lived, and two, suddenly they couldn't even get out of the house.
And he's doing it he's living like that during COVID.
Exactly,
Right.
because they can't get out of the house, so it
Yeah.
grabbed everybody, man.
And
It
the
grabbed
thing is
everybody.
like, I just to make clear to my audience, because again, they're all new to this. I mean, some of the watches that he was wearing out to the gym, they're $500,000 to $1 million. I mean, this is insane inventory. And he's wearing it out. He's driving in Lamborghinis. He's flying all over. It's like, holy shit! Like this is pretty cool. I would love to live that lifestyle. Oh, this guy's so lucky. But you start kind of picking stuff out through it, and you start seeing where the little bumps in the road start happening. He started doing those watch raffles. He had that Facebook group that failed, and you're like, that's what people were getting on him. And then a lot of personal stuff came out about his personal activities that he was doing.
It was the Facebook group that unraveled it all because people were willing to let everything, because he was doing good business with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right. So for those that don't know, and I've been open about this. So Marco Nicolini and Anthony Farah, they were business partners at TVG, and they created a private group where they called it like an investor group, which it wasn't. It was a bad naming, and they admitted that it was bad naming. You paid $2,000, and they had X number of spots they would open. They were going to use the seed money Salt-based restaurant. They were going to use the seed money to then open a larger like shop. And then for your $2,000, what you would get is they would offer watches at a discount. And at the time, and still now, like waiting lists for watches create a situation where people go to these gray market dealers, these aftermarket dealers for big brands like Rolex, Patek Philippe, Fashion
over a premium for them. Yeah.
So they were asking for it. Now, I had already done business with Marco Nicolini. So Anthony and I never interacted, not once, except when he paid back people.
I talked to him.
Yeah, you did. So, and I don't know if we even interacted in the Facebook group, but Marco and I had done business together. So I asked Marco. Marco said, "Oh yeah, this is totally legit. We're going to be doing this." Sure. So I was one of the people who gave $2,000 because the way I looked at it was I had already been waiting over 2 years for a particular watch.
Right.
They had regularly been getting that watch.
Yep.
Screw it. I'm going to get.
Might as well.
Yeah, I'm going to get my $2,000 plus back. Like,
and to let everybody know at this point, they still seemed very legit. So that's why Ollie did this.
They seemed more legit than not. He still had a shady background that a lot of us knew, but there was also Marco Nicolini.
Right.
And Marco
Nicolini felt more trusted with him than you did Anthony. Right.
Well, clearly people still do because Grand Caliber is still out and operational. Nobody's picking on them. So, and Marco Nicolini has, a lot of vintage shops and stuff like that. So, so clearly people are like, there was questions on, is it sustainable? And back then, even now, you can go to these various sites and you can get estimates on how much people earn through YouTube. Back then, not all those sites existed yet. Those really started growing very quickly during COVID. So people also thought that he was earning a lot more money from YouTube than he probably was. So there was a question of, was this sustainable? Like, what's really happening? What are the profit margins? Nobody really knew. So people got into this investment group, and then it started falling apart very rapidly because they got too many people, which they admitted they got too many people, so they had to figure out what they were going to do. Then they couldn't offer any watches at a substantial discount to the group because the margins were already so tight. And if you follow legitimate dealers such as Roman Sharp's Luxury Bazaar, they make it very clear that the margins on Rolexes, which are the ones that sell the most, are very small. Right. So he couldn't offer anything. Right. So it fell apart then because then people inside started with direct lines to employees, started badgering employees. And when they started badgering employees, then employees start talking. And another Facebook group that like 2 or 3 employees came, started leaking information. And then, oh man,
It
it
just
went
the
downhill
floodgates open
real.
up. I mean,
Yeah.
for my audience, the floodgates open up. They dug so deep into this guy's past, Anthony's past, and found out so much shit about him. And I mean, there was videos from months ago. I mean, very personal stuff. Let's just say that how can I say this nicely without
Your
getting,
audience isn't squeamish. Just say it, man. He was
yeah,
a male escort,
he was a male escort,
right?
essentially.
And like there was other things. Your audience,
Yeah.
clearly, your audience isn't squeamish. They deal with,
Yeah.
and again, we're not here. At least I'm not here to say judge sex work or whatever.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's like
Yeah.
the trail of addiction and say the sex work and that sort of stuff was going on in a time frame where he was becoming a legitimate watch dealer. So
Right.
his story crumbled, right? And his transparency started crumbling, and people started trusting less and less.
And then it
it's
became this like roadblock of all this path of just stumble upon. I mean,
into
now
the
I'm leaving.
blackout, and the
Yeah, now
blackout is holy crap.
I'm leaving Dallas, and I've split with my partner. I'm going to LA because I want to be closer to the action. Started pulling into these other people, and they're looking at the sense of like we were looking at it in 2020. Wow, the glitz and the glam, and he's driving Lambos. I mean, you get young kids on that, they're gonna go, holy shit, I could be just like this guy. So you're trusting him, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And fathers were paying for like the personal coaching things. And again, like the blackout, the Daniel Mack thing fascinates me. But the next thing that fascinates me is that the blackout, him and Marco came out and said it was Marco's idea. To this day, everybody keeps talking about the blackout of Marketing Genius because nobody believes it was Marco's idea. But Marco has never disavowed it. He claimed responsibility for it. So let's say it was actually Marco Niccolini's idea, and that led to the eventual like breakup of the business.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like but we do know like Marco Niccolini came out and said it took them like 6 months for them to figure out the tax situation because Anthony had like screwed up the books and stuff. So it was just so messed up.
Another mess. Waco Built TV says, I'm really new to all of this. I found Anthony like a month ago on YouTube Shorts and started watching his content. A month later, this. Exactly. That's pretty much been his path. Seems like he gets to straighten things out for a couple of episodes, and then it's just the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But what I want to do here, if we can, let's play that final video, the final video that he said that he's leaving Facebook and he's going to get out of the, he's leaving YouTube and he's going to get out of the business because my audience hasn't seen that. Ali, I hope you have time. We can play through this and maybe talk a little bit.
Yeah, let's go for it. Before you play it, I should note for a later date.
Yep.
So I don't particularly follow a lot of true crime because it was my profession for so long. There's a certain wear and tear. However, I have done a lot with FIRE, which is Harvey Silverglade's organization, the Institute for Justice. A big fan of books like Humor's The Problem of Political Authority. So when you want to talk about things like justice system reform, overcriminalization, jury nullification, if you ever want to talk about those topics, I actually have significant exposure in those areas.
Absolutely.
If I can be of use to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that everybody in my chat would love that. So yeah, we can plan a show around that. I'd love to do that with you. All right, let's pull up the hey, quicker than drawers here. Good to see you, dude. Another old friend of ours of the show. Good to see you. Wings is here as well too. Thank you, bro. All right, let's pull up the video here. Hope I don't screw this up, and I already did. I'll get to the right thing here. There we go. That's the one I want to be on.
You're out of practice.
That was great. All right, let's play this. Anthony's final video on YouTube. This is my last video on YouTube.
He's very lovingly cupping the camera as he's telling us.
Yeah, we'll see you in 30 days, bro. I love the adjustment that he doesn't edit this part out. Like it's all here, rub his hands together.
All right, guys. So day 6 video, here it is. Yesterday I posted day 5, and within an hour or two, I made the video private because somebody I was going to go work with and partner with got a lot of blowback for trying to step in and, take a chance at helping me fix my mess. I told them that we're going to get a lot of negative feedback or, a lot of negativity directed towards them. And I don't think they realized what they were getting themselves into. So I completely respect that decision, but that's no longer going to be a part. So tomorrow I'm going to be headed back to LA, and I haven't 100% made the commitment yet. I'm almost there though, but I think that it's just time I get out of this industry and move on to the next. So, you know, I've caused a lot of negative, I brought a lot of negative, unwanted attention to this industry. And for those that are actually involved in it, I apologize, guys. For those of you that I still owe money, I'm still not, you know, I'm still not running from that. I still plan on paying that debt. But moving forward, as well as my actual clients, you guys that I'm speaking with on a daily basis, you know, I'm not hiding and I'm not running from that debt. I'm still doing everything I can to pay for it. But it's obvious, it's apparent that there's a large community out there that doesn't want that to happen. They would rather me in my life end up in prison, do whatever it takes to not be able to pay you guys back. I'm not going that route. I'm not going to succumb to the pressure. You know, my phone.
I'll pause it. Hang on. Go ahead.
So people talk about the camera and stuff. So this is, I think, something that is impossible to deny. Anthony is when he walks like between buildings, he's like the Pied Piper. He picks up somebody who wants exposure. So he had never, not for a moment, did he not have people willing to take pictures, help him with social media, whatever, because he was getting so much exposure.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have bought into that idea that no press is bad press, even though clearly there is such thing as bad press. Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing.
Again, man, he's his own worst enemy. You know, I look at this situation like this, you know, I think, and I said this the other day on JJ's channel, and I think you know, somewhat agreed with me. If, you know, you have to admit this, he captivates an audience. He does. I mean, I just turned this subject onto, you know, my channel, my viewers that wouldn't have no interest in this at all. Okay. But it was the way that I presented it and brought them into the fold, and they started to understand. And I watched by the first stream, people in my chat were like, I am so captivated by this. So I wanted to get them, you know, caught up. But the thing is, and I just totally lost my train of thought. Sorry. He has always, I'm sorry, going back to, if he would have played it straight, I think if he would have played it straight, he would have been or close to that guy that he wanted to be. The living that lifestyle, playing it straight, you know, being this reputable watch dealer that people could come to, and filming great content and being a good social manager meter. But the problem is he's got a couple of things. He can't control his own demons, and he has no control over assets at all. And that means his and people that trust him with their assets. I mean, he has no control over it. And someone that has no control is a very selfish person. It's always going to be about him, and he's always going to play victim. Just like we've heard in all these videos that we've played so far. Oh, they're doing things to me to not allow me to make money. The haters, they're coming after me.
Yeah, I mean, and to be clear, like, this is actually confusing for people, because some people say that you need to back off of these type of scams so people can make money. And there's, unfortunately, and in your audience, you have victims of another wristwatch scammer of a much smaller scale, but Stefano Della Costa. That was an argument around him. And the problem is that when you make the argument like you need to let them make money so they can pay people back, you don't know how they're going to continue to make the money.
Right.
And as your true crime audience knows, if you talk about white collar crime, there's things called clawback. So then you run into a situation where it becomes harder and harder to differentiate legitimate business enterprise from the scams. And then in clawback, you create even more victims.
Right.
So it is a tough, like, personal decision to decide, let people continue so I can get paid back or not. Now, it's like, you know, and the other thing was in the last video you played, he's like, oh, you know, and I should probably keep track because $12 or this coffee adds up. It's like astonishing because, again, he was going to Nick and Sam's and having, you know, $100 steaks, like, for every video, right? Sort of thing. So, yeah, it's crazy, man.
All right, let's finish this up and then we'll have a final thought and we'll wrap this puppy up.
Not stop ringing all day long. To the point where I've actually got another number. And any of my clients that are out here watching, I've reached out to about a third of you guys. I'm going to get to the rest of you in the next day or so. and I'm going to give you my new number. And, you know, I'm considering deleting social media, getting off, and just, you know, it's just apparent that I can't try to move forward. The people that are directly involved.
Justin, I'm going to tell you this. This guy is so addicted to social media and being in the spotlight. I'm telling you, in 30 days, he will pop up. He will pop up. This is not the last of him. This is not the last of him. You will see
30
him again
days.
sometime. What do you think? In a day?
This weekend.
You think by this week? Hey guys, I made $1 million in Vegas.
This week. Well, because the whole thing. So the $5 million is likely fake, right? Like, you know, we're talking maybe
number
$1 million, $1.5 million, right?
Yeah,
and I think you also punted this theory around, right? That he said 5 million so he could turn it into a 30-day miracle, another part of the marketing genius. He'll be back very, very quickly. And it won't be like, this goes to the issue of the rock bottom, because it's a very real form of addiction for him.
Yep.
Like, has he hit rock bottom with alcoholism? Because he's claimed alcoholism, gambling, sex addiction.
That doesn't
those three
end overnight.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly. So, like, and so social media is the same dopamine problem that he has.
100%.
Right. So it's like, yeah, no, he's back, and he didn't know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
we've been in good contact. We've had good conversations on the phone, and I'm doing, you know, you guys understand that I'm doing what I can with what I have to try and make it whole and try and make it right. But there's just me being here on social media, me broadcasting my moves, talking about who I'm with, where I'm at. It's causing problems for people that it doesn't need.
I wouldn't insult JR.
My problems, and I just don't want that for anybody. So
he's out there, boots on the ground.
Like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but by tomorrow I will have made my mind up. I've got a couple more people I want to talk to. But
so what that means is
I'm possibly
right. Here we go. So it's like I'm leaving YouTube, and then halfway through the video, not even quite halfway, I'm thinking about it. Which it means, so now that tomorrow is today, right? So now he's had the conversations. So day after tomorrow, video is going to come out with his new plan of how he's going to destroy all the haters. Right? It's like, it's surreal.
Yeah,
it's surreal, and I can't imagine what type of YouTube revenue this dude could be generating.
Oh yeah, he's generating it now. Those videos have some of them have 100,000 views on them. I mean, and you don't think that you're throwing up a title saying this is my last video on YouTube to try to not get people to come over and watch it? Give me a fucking break. I mean, yeah, Freya said he's not leaving.
I don't go anymore.
No, it's not leaving. All right, let's go back here and play this.
Getting out of this industry for good and gonna go look for something else, because it's just gotten to now to the point where even trying to make this right, it's not fun. Obviously, the situation that I've created is not a fun situation. But even every attempt that I make to try to fix it or make it right is being scrutinized, and it's being pushed back against. And people, like I said, I go, you know, I have a dealer reach out, or a dealer
of course
reach
it
out
is. Like,
willing to help.
You amputated the wrong limb of some of your
turn this
customers, and you expect people to not look over your shoulder for the next set of surgery you're gonna do.
Right.
Like, dude, like you've already killed a few patients. It's like nobody's just letting you practice. It's like, yeah, of course not. They're gonna scrutinize you, man.
Yeah.
Justin, I think he was. That's what I'm saying. I think he was demonetized on YouTube.
Oh, was he?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's part of the problem. Is I think that, like, if he had not made so many mistakes, right, I think he would be making just a mint off of YouTube. But I'm pretty sure he was demonetized on YouTube.
Oh wow. Huh.
Situation around. Now they get negative press. They get negative blowback. People blowing the store up and stuff like that for nothing. Like, trying to fix the situation, it's just, you know, it's to the point where whatever move I make next, it's going to be done in silence. And I know the first thing people are going to say is that I committed to making a video a day, and I was going to do that. But for some reason, somehow I don't think that me posting a video here every day, sitting behind a wall that nobody can recognize and just telling you I'm doing something's not going to be enough. I feel like the best move I can make for the people that are actually involved and to actually give me a fighting chance at fixing this is to take whatever jobs I can get and just do it in silence. I'm not going to be talking about who I'm working with, what I'm doing. I'm not even going to come on here and talk about who I'm paying. The people that are owed money, I'll contact them directly. At this point, I just don't think it's anybody's business anymore, you know, and not to say that the haters or all the negative attention is getting to me. It's just affecting everyone that I try to come in contact. It's making it to where nobody, even the people that want to help me out or give me a job or give me an opportunity to make money, they're going to deal with blowback, and I don't really want to deal with that. For the supporters out there, guys, you know, I've gotten all the messages, I've gotten the texts. I appreciate that. You know, I'm keeping my head up to the best of my ability. I'm going to keep pushing through this as hard as I can. And like I said, I'm going to ride this shit till the end, and make the best on what I can.
It's like he plays marketing genius victim. The one part that bugs me is that, like, and Daniel said, you know, he may still be drinking. That's the part that bugs me, is that I do have a lot of sympathy for people that are dealing with addiction.
Oh, of course.
Right. And he clearly has like multiple issues. And then the question becomes that the people who were well situated to, say, intervention, right? Why didn't they ever?
Yeah, send them to rehab.
Like, do something. Like, try, like, and then at least come out and say we tried, because
you don't fucking know. You don't think that those people, when they were all, you know, Darby and Liz and all them, when they were out in LA together, didn't fucking see him going down this spiral to say, hey, dude, you know, maybe you need some rehab.
The Dallas team, the LA team, like, you know, like, because he was in a very real sense their cash cow as well.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, were they intending to write him like, you know, the Chris Cornells of the world, or the you know, the Mickey Mantles of the world, where people ride them into the ground, right, with addiction and alcoholism or whatever?
Right.
I don't know, man. It's a little sad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't shit on anybody that has any type of addiction, you know, and I talked about this too, where people were sending messages in the sense telling them to kill himself. I would never want anybody to send any type of message like that. As bad as bad as you may hate someone in a particular moment, you would never wish that upon anybody. I mean, as far as like addiction, I've had people come out during my live chat, and I remember this person, and I've had some interaction with them, that they said in my chat, I'm so glad that I can come here for an hour to 2 hours a day, because it gets me away from my addiction. It gets me away from my problems. And I think that's one of the greatest things, if you can have a platform like this and pull someone's interest in and give them a little bit of solace for a little while. You know, and, you know, addiction's a bitch. It really is.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't think it also precludes him shitting on him either. Simply, and I want to be clear on that. There's a quote from, because I'm a nerd or a geek or both. There's a quote from Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who, and where he said, you know, you can't always be nice, but never fail to be kind. Right. So sometimes you have to be honest and blunt, and it's going to be hurtful, but you can do it in a kind way.
Right.
Like, so Anthony,
like an intervention. That's a perfect, like that show, you know, like that show Intervention.
You know, Danielle, the thing about the working 3 full-time jobs is, and this goes to maybe, you know, some of Brian's other topics in terms of justice reform and certainly like recidivism issues. Anthony is a multiple time felon. Like, he's not getting a regular job.
Yeah.
Right. So, and arguably, you know, that may be like a social thing to discuss. But yeah, he's not getting a regular job.
Yeah, not anytime soon. All right, we'll finish this up, and then we'll give some parting thoughts before we close up the stream. Ollie, I want to thank you again for jumping on, man. It's been quite a while, and the conversation's been really fun, so I appreciate it. And hearing your insight into this, you know, hearing your insight to this has been really great podcast so far. All right, let's play through this
while I can. So for everyone out there that's directly involved, you know, reach out to me on my cell phone, shoot me a text. I'll share my new number. I've taken my number offline. I'm not going to post my new one. Most likely I'm going to deactivate all of my social media accounts, except my main Instagram, which is the Instagram handle @Anthony. And if someone's got something, if they want to get a hold of me, just message me there. And when I get to it, I'll get to it. But I'm going to be very private from now on going forward. It's just the only option I have without, you know, me still trying to work and bring in income without giving someone the opportunity to screw that up or jeopardize it however they can. Because you know, I came out here for what was going to be a good opportunity, and now I'm headed back. So it's another blow to the plan, but hey, you know, that door closed. Now I'm going to look for the next open one.
Hear his phone. His
I've
phone's
talked to a
just
few people about
vibrating,
social media
going.
consultant. I've got a few
Mhm.
trips planned next week where I'm going to go meet some people and just do whatever job I can get.
His phone's just going off.
That's really all I've got. And my phone just doesn't stop. But
Where's my money? Where's my watches?
Again, for those out there that are following along and supporting, you know, I'm going to be moving in silence, but I'm still going to be moving. If you have direct contact with me and you're part of this and you're in contact with me and you're one of the ones that are actually affected, I'm going to stay in contact with you as much as you like. We've already talked about that. So shoot me a text, follow me on Instagram at Anthony. But after today, most of my social media is probably going to go away, and that'll be the only way to get a hold of me if you don't have my direct new number. So guys, sorry the videos didn't play out, but I just can't risk anybody else getting bashed or harassed because of my situation. So appreciate
I
all the
actually
support,
believe
guys.
him when he says that.
You know, it's been a fun journey, but this is my last video on YouTube for, you know, I don't want to say indefinitely.
Till tomorrow.
But
See?
definitely for a long
He'll be
time.
back.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely be back. But I do believe him when he says like he did feel bad for, say, Coach Jewelers in this case. I actually believe him.
I'm sure he did. It fucked them up real bad.
It's curious to me. A couple of really, like, I think they're obvious things, but nobody's willing to talk about them because the rest of it's so fascinating. The first is that clearly, if Wesley Stokes was to be believed, like 1 million plus in watches have disappeared, right? They have serial numbers.
Yep.
Right. So they went somewhere, and then they're not moving in the US market because in the US market, they would be incredibly easy to not incredibly easy, I should say that. They would be easier to deal with. So they're moving in an overseas market. I don't know if you caught my show that I did on JJ's about like counterfeits or you know, those type of things. Like, so there's multiple criminal elements because there's Anthony's crimes, and then wherever the watch is moved, right, is moved through other criminal circles because otherwise they would be back.
Yeah.
Right. Then there's gambling problems. So it's possible that watches became collateral to bookies, right? Money on the street, stuff like that. And then if those bookies, because of Anthony's high-end exposure, just this spitballing, there's no evidence of this.
Right.
If they can't convert the watches to cash, then they're going to be after Anthony for the cash because now they're like, hold on, he said these were his watches. Well, it turns out they're somebody else's watches, so we can't sell them because then we can't. So they'll go after him for that. This could get really bizarre.
Yeah. It's going to get strange, man. You know, it's going to get strange. And if I was him, you know, I said this way back, even just from the first video, I wouldn't be posting on fucking social media saying what you're saying, dude. I'd get off and find myself a very good lawyer because I'm pretty sure there's going to be multiple.
Do you remember the lawyer he had before?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. I think in part, Seinfeld did a great meme of Johnny Cochran, right?
Yeah.
Remember the lawyer who was Johnny Cochran in Seinfeld?
Yeah.
I think in part the lawyer that he got before and the lawyers that are willing to work with him or he's willing to work with, their cults of personality too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Ali, we're never going to solve it overnight. It's never going to be solved, but this is I can't.
Oh God.
But yeah, you know, it's the comments on these are great. If you ever want a good laugh, everybody just go over to Anthony Farah's YouTube channel and check out his community page because there's some really good laughable stuff over there. Yeah, real quick. Do you remember this, Ollie? Hang on.
One, I'm young enough. Two, I'm confident enough that I'm always going to make money in something. If I gave up if I never sold another watch tomorrow, I could start selling paper cups, plastic cups, and I'll do good at it.
Well, it looks like Anthony is going to be selling paper cups. But on that note, we're going to wrap this one up. I think that's a great way to end the podcast. Lakota loved it. She said, excellent panel. Ollie, if there's anything you want to plug, your Instagram, if you want anybody to follow, it is the I'm going to mess this up, the Swatch Box on Instagram. You can check out Ollie Great friend of mine from over on the JJ.
I'm just glad to have been able to reconnect with you. I wish the
Yeah.
circumstances weren't TPG, but hey, it's good to connect with
TPG
you.
always brings everybody together, believe me. And we have some laughs and we smile, and what are we going to do? We're not going to solve his problems in one night. I don't think he's going to solve his own problems in one night. But yeah, as new information comes out, I know I have a small sector of my channel here that enjoys this, and we'll keep updating. Again, Ollie, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to hit the outro here in a second and the podcast. But thank you all so much. I will be back on Saturday night for my True Crimers. I will be doing a Brian Koberger stream on Saturday. There's been some new document dumps, so we'll go over that on Saturday night. Just look for the tile, and I know you all will be here. Thank you, everybody.
And you have a second channel, right?
I do. I have a Rewinds channel that I'm trying to get monetized.
And that's like a Clips channel.
Yeah, those sons of bees. You know what they did? So they dropped them on it. We'll talk after. We'll talk after the stream.
Well, go subscribe to his other channel, though, people.
Yeah, subscribe to LTL Podcast Rewinds, where I download all these episodes and re-upload them so you guys can watch them, or you can check out the episodes here. Look out for my short form content. It's on its way. I'm going to be working on a Long Island serial killer video. If you haven't seen my 2 Brian Koberger videos just recently, go over and check them out. They're on the homepage. You are missing out. Very cinematic presentation, so you're going to really enjoy that. We're going to get out of here, and everybody have a good night. I think Tanya's streaming. You can go over and check her out, or maybe a couple other people streaming true crime stuff. So I'll see you guys back on Saturday night. Thank you so much, and we're out of here. Peace.